Welcome to the Fantasy Football Press Box with your hosts, Scott Fitzgerald and Sean Clemens.
What's up, fantasy world? Man, that intro just gets me every single time. That eagle flying in, all that it makes me so excited to be here. Every time we start out, it just brings me to the perfect mood, man. I am just ready to roll today. How are you feeling, Scott?
Well, I'm going to put a damper on that. This fantasy week sucked. Scores.
Hey, come on
horrible.
now, man. Don't be putting a damper on the good mood. We're just getting started here.
Well, I don't know. I'm being selfish. Fantasy scores were not very good. There wasn't a lot to like as far as performances. They were a little low this week, probably because I didn't do very well. So hampering.
Hey, it was low across the board, man. I mean, there really wasn't a whole lot of like crazy good fantasy, scores going on this week. It was a few guys that performed well, but for really overall, man, it wasn't a good top end week in general.
No. There were a few guys that kind of went off a little unexpected. I know somebody out there. Oh, here he is in chat. Jimmy Furlan. He did mention to us. I did get a little text from him saying play Sean Tucker in DFS, and I was rewarded greatly. So thank you for that info, Jimmy.
So you should be in a better mood then coming in here.
DFS was good. DFS was good, but fantasy was not so good. There was the Josh Jacobs injury hurt me. So yeah, that hurt a lot. I had quite a bit of them. What about you, Sean? How was your weekend with fantasy?
Well, so far so good. I survived quite a few of our leagues that are chop leagues, so I'm definitely excited about that. Actually, every one of them that I'm left in, I survived through the week, which really is shocking considering the situation that happened. So I'm pretty happy with that. Obviously, I'm happy with the way my Bills came out and performed after that dud of a week against Miami to come out and just lay it up on the Bucs like they did. That makes me really happy. Hey, Steven, how you doing, man? The Steven Grease is in the chat. How you doing, my friend? It's good to have you here with us. Yeah, man, taking questions all day. Feel free, throw them at us whenever you want. We'll jump in there and we'll answer them for you.
Yep, throw them at us. If we don't get to them right away, it's probably because we're finishing a quick sentence or segment or whatever, but we'll definitely get to it.
Oh, absolutely. Always, man. We always want to keep our chat involved as we go along. So anyways, yeah, man, that game really did bring my spirits back up again. I was in kind of doomsday mode, as you knew from our power rankings. And you guys will see the adjustments that this power rankings brings this week based on that, because that performance did move them around our board a little bit. So I know mine, at least. I'm sure Scott's as well. But there's a lot to get into this week, man. We had a whole lot happen, especially some crazy news that just dropped right here midweek. So why don't we go ahead and just roll right into the hot off the press first down. Ja'Marr Chase suspended one game for spitting on Jalen Ramsey. Now, when this all happened, I thought it was Jalen being Jalen, losing control, hitting somebody for what looked like to be no real reason. And then you hear that he got spit on. And now okay, if he Romanowski'd him, then yeah, he had every right to be upset enough to want to throw a punch at him. And they both should have been ejected out of that game at that point in time, in my opinion. But other than that, man, I mean, what do you think about all that, dude? I honestly, like, why do you think he was spitting on him? Why do you think he couldn't control himself well enough to not do that, man? Give me some thoughts on this, because it's just a crazy, crazy situation.
It's just the, being a diva. I mean, nobody wants to get roughed up, but they're playing the game of football. It's a violent sport, and they rough it up a little bit. But and these guys, I love how these guys throw punches. When they throw punches, they're throwing punches into a guy wearing a helmet. I mean, all that's going to do is break your hand. And then the spitting part, I mean, you just can't spit in somebody's face. That's super disrespectful, and he deserves to get a suspension. So, and then I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, they're not going to do it, but the league suspended him. But some teams don't like that either, and they could suspend him. I don't think the Bengals will, but yeah, that's super disrespectful, and you just can't do that. You're an elite player, you're a role model, and it looks terrible to be spit in somebody's face.
Yeah, 100% agree with you on that. You need to be, like you said, that role model is the key right there, man. When you're talking about how many kids are out there watching those games and are looking up to you as one of their like idols, and you go out there and you're spitting in people's faces and hurting your team the way you are by getting suspended for a game, showing that you care more about yourself than you do about your team. That to me is where it really hits home. I don't want my nieces and nephews watching this happen and then feeling like this type of behavior is okay in society, because it's definitely not something that we tolerate. So I'm happy that they suspended him after the fact, because they would have ejected him had they realized it happened during the game. So the fact that he at least gets 1 game suspension for it, I feel like it's justified. I know he's probably going to appeal. I doubt that it'll make a difference. I'm guessing that he's for sure going to be suspended for that game at least. So I'm just glad that they're getting some sort of repercussions for that type of behavior. Let's move into the comments, because we got Frosty126 jumping in here asking and having some questions, and along with our buddy Stephen Grice here. So let's go ahead and start with Stevens, because he was first. He says considering dropping DJ Moore, Fannin, or Pierce, and looking to pick up Sean Tucker, Emmanuel Wilson, or Kenneth Gainwell. Wow, it's funny that you mentioned those 3. In what order would you rank my drops and my pickups? So Scott, we just talked about these 3 players on our short. If you guys haven't seen it yet, go check it out. It's just a fun little short. You're going to get a lot more of that here later on in the episode, because we're going to do it a little bit of trade, start, and stash later on here. But he's basically talking about the 3 players we went over on our trade, start, and stash: Sean Tucker, Emmanuel Wilson, Kenneth Gainwell. He wants to drop DJ Moore, Fannin, Pierce. What order would you drop, and then what order would you pick up? Start with drop and go from to pick up.
Wow. Well, one guy I'm not going to drop, because I think I see he's trending upward, is Pierce. I'm assuming that's Alec Pierce from the Colts. So I don't think I would be dropping him. But DJ Moore is definitely a drop. He's been a disaster this year. And then with Njoku coming back, I think it's safe to drop Fannin. I do like all 3 of those pickups: Tucker, Wilson, Gainwell. I would probably I think Tucker's more of a short term if you just need him for 1 week, because Bucky Irving is coming back. Wilson, he might not even play this week. It looks like Jacobs just had a contusion. They're saying week to week, but there's a chance he could go. We have to look at the practice reports on Wednesday and Friday. So Gainwell, I think I'm putting Gainwell at the top of the list, because it looks like even with, he has standalone value as it is. So I kind of I would probably go Gainwell first, Tucker second, Wilson third. What about you, Sean?
I'm probably Tucker, Gainwell, Wilson in that order. And the reason I say that is because, like I said in our little short, that I'm just not confident that Bucky's going to come back in time for your fantasy season. Not to say he won't come back for the Bucs season, but for the fantasy season and the relevance of this, time that we're in now, I don't trust that he'll be back. So, I'm kind of still back and forth on that whole situation. And to me, I think he puts Sean Tucker at the top of that list just because of what he's capable of. If he doesn't come back, Sean Tucker will be their RB1 to him and White. So I like Tucker first, Gainwell second, Manuel third. And then as far as dropping, I think you're right about Pierce. I wouldn't consider him even droppable. I would be like, if I need to drop somebody, he's not going to be on that list. DJ Moore and Fannin, I would probably drop in that order. I'd probably start with Moore and go down to Fannin, because I do think that Fannin might have potential, especially if they're putting in Sanders, who's more of a pocket passer, or even the rookie now. I think they're just going to target those tight ends a little more. So even though Njoku's back, I still think that Fannin carries just a little bit more weight for me than DJ Moore, but it's very close. So I would say drop those 2 for sure, keep Pierce, and then work on getting those top 2 guys, Tucker or Gainwell, and don't worry about Wilson.
Yeah, agree.
So Frosty, he's asking here how much FOB he should spend on Mooney. He said he lost London and has a $20 left. Mooney, I would probably go maybe half that at the most. I don't think I would probably push it more than $10. That way you still have a few more bucks left for the few more weeks left. That's kind of how I would approach it. I don't think Mooney's going to be a stud. Plus Penix is out and Cousins coming in. We still don't know really if we're going to get, you like that Cousins or the Cousins that we saw last season. So I would probably go ahead and just throw maybe half at the most, even maybe a little less if you want. 7 to 10 maybe would be a good number for me. But where do you stand with that?
We're going to go back to Alec Pierce here, because because the Colts were on the bye last week, there's a chance he could be out on your waiver wire. You might be able to snag him for like $1 or $2. I'd go pick up Alec Pierce if he's out there.
I would take him up over Mooney in a heartbeat.
Yeah. So if you could snag him for you might be able to get him for $2 or $3. That's what I would do. And considering you only have $20 left, I wouldn't, spend all the fab on one guy. So I'd go out there and take a look and see if somebody left Alex Pierce out there. I'd still look at possibly Michael Wilson if somebody left Michael Wilson out there, considering we don't know what's going on with Harrison.
He says he's looking at potential guys like Downs, Judy, or Burden. I would probably play Downs over any of the guys on that list. I think he would definitely be a start over the other guys there, in my opinion. Judy would probably be behind that, and then maybe Burden from there. And Mooney would sneak in between Judy and Burden, in my opinion. But I think if you have the opportunity to get either Downs or Judy, I would grab them over Mooney.
Oh, he said Wilson and Pierce are gone. Yeah. I'd even also look at maybe Tez Johnson. Tez Johnson over in Tampa Bay. He's been getting some pretty good targets. He's averaging in the last 5 games. He's averaging 11 points a game. So I would look at somebody like that too. You still got Parker Washington in Jacksonville, who's averaging 11 points a week over his last 4 games. So those are guys you can pick up for $1 or $2 if they're not already taken.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. And you guys are giving us some great questions here to talk about. We really appreciate all of that. We're definitely going to continue to talk about these questions as you guys bring them in here. So we'll move forward with what we're going on. And, like I said, throw them in there whenever you guys want to. Next up on our hot off the press, man, we're talking Penix in London. We just brought him up. So let's go a little bit into that discussion that we just had here for a second. Both of them are out for this week. Penix is on IR. He's probably done for your fantasy season, in my opinion. Do you think that Cousins is coming in, do you think that's going to affect the rest of that offense, mainly the Bijan factor? Where are you at with Bijan after this? Higher, lower? How does that change your opinion on Bijan?
Oh, it's wheels up on Bijan Robinson. I mean, he's one of the best backs in the league. Cousins, is a pocket passer. He's not going to be scrambling around. He likes to dump it off. So, I would say arrows up, especially with Bijan's targets with receptions.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you 100% on that. I definitely think Bijan is the guy to go with in that offense. I'd be, like we talked about with Mooney, I would be a little concerned not knowing what's going to happen. But even if Cousins doesn't come in playing super hard, they're going to lean on Bijan no matter what. So we know Bijan is a guy that you can run with and be happy to have for the rest of the year. We have a question in here too about Godwin. I definitely do think Godwin is a good play if he comes back and he's able to come back healthy. With Mike Evans out, I think Godwin will sneak right back in there and just start demanding targets. Him and Mbuka are still going to be solid plays for the rest of the season. So I would lean on that. Tez Johnson might be the one to take a hit when he comes back. Again, thank you guys for the questions. We really appreciate that. Next up on the hot off the press here, we're talking about the 3 guys, Rodgers, Jacobs, Ridley. We already mentioned Jacobs potentially coming back, so we don't need to go too far into that. Now, Rodgers is saying that there's a broken bone, but then there was surgery, but now there's not surgery, and there's potential for him to play this week, but maybe not. What do you think, man? Because, the last couple of weeks, fantasy-wise, he really hasn't done anything anyway. So do you feel like he's somebody that you're going to at least hang on to him moving forward, or do you think that he's just pretty much waiver wire fodder at this point?
We always default to super flex. So, he's definitely a super flex, QB2. It's his non-throwing hand. I like Mason Rudolph, so I'm going to pick him up regardless, because Rodgers is going to do everything he can to play, and there's a chance he can go in there and he can play, and it might not work, and then he's out. So, and then you'd have Mason Rudolph for the next week. So, we can really do at this point is look at practice reports going forward. But yeah, as far as Rodgers, in the last 5 weeks, he's only averaging 17 points a week. So, there's guys I'd rather, to be honest with you, if Davis Mills is out there, I'd try to maybe pick him up. If you need somebody to stick in there, he's a guy. Trevor Lawrence is scoring more points. And this is obviously if you're in a 1 quarterback league, these guys should be out there. So I don't know. I'm kind of up on the fence. What about you, Sean?
1 quarterback league, he's on my waiver wire. I'm not carrying him on my bench in this point. It's not worth it. Even if he plays, he's not throwing the ball enough. That offense, we're getting just the same situation we've always had with that offense, that it just does not give you a good production out of your quarterback. So I would just move on from him unless you absolutely have to hang on to him, do it. Otherwise, I think you go ahead and just drop him and don't let him take up that roster spot. So as far as Calvin Ridley being out for the year, man, I feel for the guy, but I don't think that really affects your fantasy season all that much because he's probably riding your bench by this point in the year anyway. Man, how disappointing has Cam Ward been in that offense? I know he's been struggling because the team itself is just horrible and they're on interim at this point, so it's like a lost season anyway. But I was hoping to see at least a little more flashes out of him from here and there, and I just haven't seen it. So did you have any opinion on that at this point, or do you think it's still just kind of jury out because the situation is what it is?
Yeah, they can't protect him. They can't run the ball. He doesn't really have a wide receiver one. So, he's pretty much, just, it's just a lost season for him. I thought maybe I'd see a little bit more maybe scrambling out of him when the pocket breaks down. But yeah, he's, even back at college, he was just more of a pocket guy. He really didn't scramble as much. So it's just wait and see, I guess. I mean, if you're in Dynasty, obviously you're keeping him because he was probably, a top pick for you. But it's just been a bad season in Tennessee, and they just need to surround him with better players.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, man. I think you got to wait and see in Dynasty, but otherwise it's just been a lost season for him any other type of format right now. So what's up, Tennessee Nick? It's good to see you, my friend. Always glad to have you in the chat with us.
Up, Tennessee Nick?
You are the man, my friend. Let's go into our next down, baby. Second down, we're talking about the He Went Off boys. Who's up on our first He Went Off? It's going to be one of our regulars on this segment, Travion Henderson. 32 fantasy points. I mean, this was on a Thursday game, so he came out to start out the week and was just basically like, oh, you didn't know? Well, now you know. You better call somebody because I'm coming at you with 3 touchdowns, 32 fantasy points. He only had 19 carries for 62 yards, 5 catches for 31 yards. So it wasn't like he blew up. He had less than 100 total yards, but the touchdowns were there. The red zone carries were there. And the fact that he was given the ball 19 times when in a game where they really didn't need to go crazy on offense because the Jets were just kind of what they are, the Jets. I think that the pretty much established top 5 back rest of the season. Where do you stand on that? Do you think he's in that realm now?
Well, if you invested in him early in your drafts, you were definitely starting to get rewarded because I've been touting this guy the whole year. I think he was the best back coming out of the draft, even ahead of Janty. He just needed an opportunity. So he's in the last 5 games, he's averaged 16 fantasy points. So yeah, he just, like I said before, the genie's out of the bottle. There's no way Mike Vrabel needs to do anything else but to just plug this guy in the lineup. He can catch the ball. He can block. He has tremendous speed. It's just a revelation. We all knew, everyone in the fantasy world knew he was the better back, and it just took basically half the season for Mike Vrabel to figure it out.
Yeah, I can't believe what's going on with Vrabel taking that long, to be honest. I mean, we've been talking about it for weeks. Yeah, it's just been like everybody but Mike knew that this was the way to go, it felt like. And he finally caught on. I think it took an injury, honestly, for him to do it. I think if Ramondre didn't get hurt, we'd still be sitting here talking about how this guy should be getting more carries in a game. But thankfully, not thankfully we had an injury, but just thankfully the man got an opportunity to prove what he can do because he absolutely deserves it. The other thing here, we got a question again. The Exchange 101. What's up? This is,
Dude,
I think, the first time I've seen you.
That is a sick question right there.
This is a great question to have. We really appreciate this one. Trade Jonathan Taylor for Kyren Williams and Jamar Chase. Now, I'm going to assume this is a redraft because obviously there's no way this would be anything else. But Jonathan Taylor for Kyren Williams and Jamar Chase in your redraft. Do you do it, Scott? Let's give you a scenario here, too, because this is such a good question. Let's add a little context to it. So you are sitting at 5th place in your league, all right? You're 1 game ahead of the guy who's on the cusp of missing the playoffs, right there at 5th. And you just lost. Let's see who just went out here, Scott. Give me a player that we just lost last week. We've lost so many. I'm just drawing a blank right now because I'm trying to come up with.
Josh Jacobs. We lost Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs is coming back though. Let's get a player that's not available anymore. Who just went down last week? Tucker. We'll say Tucker. We'll say that, right? You lost. Tucker don't work. We need a tight end. We need a running back, not a tight end.
Oh, I don't.
Right? I know it's funny to try to add the context to it, but say you need one. We'll just say you need one. All right. So you need a running back right here, and you're going to get Kyren Williams, you're going to get Jamar Chase. Do you think that you're making that move? Right, you're still in a situation. I'm sorry, receiver, not a running back. You need a receiver, right? You're getting Jamar Chase. You're giving up Jonathan to get Kyren. You need the receiver. So what do you think?
Okay, so I'm going to look at it this way. Jonathan Taylor's been carrying my team the whole year. Now, I don't know where this guy stands in the standings, but I'm assuming he's in playoff contention.
We'll say fifth.
Yeah, okay, so he's fifth. So he's in playoff. He's right there. He's making the playoffs. Top 6 make the playoffs in sleeper. So Kyren Williams, he's starting to get a pain in the butt, and that's Blake Corum. Jamar Chase is suspended for 1 game. I always say when it comes down to something like this, you always take the bird in the hand, and the bird in the hand is Jonathan Taylor. It'd be really hard for me to move on from him, especially he's been carrying my team the whole year. So I'm not going to make that trade. I'm going to keep Jonathan Taylor, and I'm going to ride him to a championship.
See, I think I might go the other way with you. I think I might go with Kyren because I think the Rams they're an ascending team. You'll find out in our power rankings come out. And I think Kyren Williams is just going to start to get more carries as they start to get to the point where they're like further ahead in games. And I think they're just a good team. And I like to have those running backs that are on good teams, especially one like Kyren. So I think Kyren, and then you add Jamar Chase, who Burrow coming back, they're still going to be throwing the ball. He's only missing 1 game, and you're not in the playoffs yet. So I would definitely do that if I was in the need and I wanted to have that player on my team, because I think the two combined are more points weekly than Jonathan, most likely. So okay, I'm taking that.
Okay, well let's check it out. So over the whole season, Jonathan Taylor's averaged 27 points a game. Okay, and then we'll go to Kyren Williams. Kyren averages 17, and we'll see what Jamar does. So Jamar would have to average at least 11, so 19. So yeah, I guess if you look at the points, the points tells you to make the trade. But like I said, I always like to have the bird in the hand, which is Jonathan Taylor. And like I said, they're giving Blake Corum more and more carries, which I'm not liking. So
that is true. They are giving Corum more love than I prefer.
Now if Corum wasn't there or getting like 1 or 2 carries a game, then I would take the trade. But Jonathan Taylor's just such a beast. I mean, he's getting.
I mean, he is, yeah, but so is Jamar. I mean, when Burrow's back, he's just going to be feeding him the ball.
Yeah, that and there's still, but like I said, if Burrow comes back, you're going to be in the playoffs. It'll be like the playoff time, week 14, week 15. You got to get there. So
I mean, they're saying that he's supposed to be back within the next couple of weeks, right? I mean, they're saying
he's starting to do 11-on-11 drills. There's talking about possibly Thanksgiving, if not the week after. So that would be week 14. So that'd be a week before the fantasy playoffs. So, I mean, you can go either way. It's a really, really tough question. And I guess you'd have to look at like your roster and look if you really, I mean, if you're giving away Jonathan Taylor, you better be pretty loaded, everywhere else.
Yeah. I mean, it is a great trade. It's a great option to have right there if you're sitting with Jonathan Taylor and you're getting an option to get Kyren Williams and Jamar Chase, because no matter what your situation is, either you're taking that deal or you're not, because it's going to be one or the other. You're going to either have the team that needs that trade and you're like, okay, I'm doing this deal for sure, or you're going to be like Scott saying and just say, no, I'm good right here. So that's definitely a good question, man. Keep bringing them because that was awesome.
That's a great question. So good luck beating that, guys.
Yeah, right. Oh man, we got another question here. Let's run through these 2 questions here real quick before we move on to our next T1 off guy. 3-8 somehow have a shot to make the playoffs. Anyone he could move Jefferson or another receiver like Shakir or Pierce for Ed to give him a shot to win this week. If you can compile Jefferson and Shakir together, or I mean, let's say Pierce, because I think he might carry a little more value at this point, the way Shakir's getting not getting targets right now. So I would probably say you could package them together. Who would you target in that situation, Scott? Is there a guy that comes to mind that you would try to go after for this week specifically if you're like a week-to-week team like he's talking about?
I mean,
thank you, George C.
Right now,
appreciate your question.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson has been pretty awful this year from where you drafted him. I mean, in the last 5 weeks, he's like wide receiver 18. He's only averaging 12 points a game. J.D. McCarthy's been very erratic. So yeah, if you could package him with another guy and at least on name value alone and try to get up to I would even try to get up to maybe it seems pretty sick, but try to get up to a CD Lamb, George Pickens range. Maybe
T. Higgins might be a guy you could look at.
Higgins, Rashee Rice. I doubt you're going to get Rashee Rice, but
yeah, I think you might be able to just do a Jefferson for Higgins straight up to somebody right now. They might take that deal. And then if they don't, you could always add in the piece that you want, Shakira Pierce, to try to solidify it. But I think that's what I would do. Like you just said, Scott, those are the kind of range guys I would go after. Maybe you could reach for a Devontae Adams or something like that.
Devontae Adams would be a nice pluck. Maybe Tet McMillan. Tet McMillan's been really good. What you got to do, guys, is go in and sort these guys by what I like to do is I like to sort them. I like trends. So I like to sort them the last 5 games. So what are these fantasy players doing in the last 5 games? I could care less what they're doing for the whole year. I want to know what they're doing the last 5 games.
Yeah, that's a great point. So definitely great questions, guys, coming in. We really do appreciate it. Frosty's got another couple questions here real quick that we'll get to. He says, which D should he play, Rams, Browns, or Steelers this week? I like the Browns D this week, man. I think that's the defense to go with. Browns have been consistently, even though they've left some yards out on the table and things, they're always getting high digit sacks, it seems like, and they're doing a great job as far as interceptions and turnovers and things like that. I think they scored a touchdown last week. So I would definitely go with the Browns D. I think they're the ones to kind of go with this week. He had another question here too, from Frosty. He's asking which 2 does he play between BTJ, Pittman, or Warren? I would probably not play BTJ if I could avoid it. I just think that he's still injured and he's trying to power through it, and we know how those high ankle sprains affect receivers. So I probably would go that route if Warren plays. Warren might give you, you might get your answer by Warren just having not the opportunity to play. I don't know. We'll see. Or BTJ, same thing. They might make that answer for you. So we'll see how it plays out. But right now, that's why I would sit if I had a choice. Yeah. You got any difference or same?
No, kudos to that.
Awesome. Let's see. Our next He Went Off segment, we're talking about my boy, Josh Allen. All right, guys. In my opinion, this discussion has been over for a long time, but I'm going to say it again because there are still people out there that refuse to believe that Josh Allen is the best quarterback in football. And I'll go even a step further and say the best football player in football. I'm talking about generational talent. This man right here will be talked about for years to come as the best quarterback and player to ever play the game. He's the only person that has 6 TDs, 3 passing, 3 rushing, and 2 separate games. And he's the only person to ever do it, period. And he's done it twice. That to me is just unbelievable, right? So, for this guy to be this good and for people to still be consistently hating on him because he hasn't gotten a ring yet, this is a team game. You cannot blame this man 100% for not getting any rings. There's a lot of people that were involved in him not making it to the Super Bowl and different aspects that he had no control over. So don't sit here and hate on the man for that reason and tell me that he does not belong in that I am the best category. Scott, I know you know that's not why we're here. We're here to talk about fantasy. The man scored 50 fantasy points. So what do you think, man? Are you arguing with me at all anymore, or are you finally on the wagon?
I never did argue with you before. I always said,
well, you're not personally, but devil's advocate. Play the other guys that have been out there.
No, I've always loved Josh Allen, but Josh Allen to me is, if he wants to be considered one of the best quarterbacks ever, is a top tier echelon quarterback, you have to win a Super Bowl. And I know it's a team game, but TB12 did it with a couple teams, and Mahomes has got a few rings on him. So I don't want Josh Allen. I love Josh Allen. I don't want him to go down as in the Dan Marino category. So if he doesn't win a ring, he's going to be in the Dan Marino category. So will I think the Bills will eventually win a Super Bowl? I really think they will. Hope this is a good year for it because the Chiefs are down. The Ravens are still kind of down. So I still think the AFC is pretty wide open, even though the Colts are up there, the Broncos are up there. I wouldn't shock me if the Bills can get there.
I don't disagree with that at all. I mean, every team is flawed this year. It feels like there really isn't a team out there that hasn't shown a weakness at some point in the season. And it's not about how you play right now; it's about how you're playing 2 months from now. So we'll see how things are going to look at that point in time when we're hitting that playoff stride. The Bills have done this before. I think there was a season where we were like 6-6, I want to say, and people had written us off, and they came back and just went on an unbelievable run. And I think that was the year that everybody really thought they for sure were going to do it, and they just didn't finish it out. But those things happen quite often with this team. They seem to have a certain point in time in a season where they just flip a switch, and I'm hoping that this was it, and they can move forward from this game and be ready to just roll with everything going forward. So on top of that, though, we did have a performance by the losing team that we have to talk about because Sean Tucker came out and just destroyed it. We've talked about him a little bit earlier. We don't have to go too in depth on this. 106 yards, 2 TDs, 34 yards and a TD, total of 34 fantasy points. The man, I would say at least keep him on your roster if you have him. But if Bucky doesn't play this week, he's a must start. And if Bucky doesn't, as long as Bucky's not playing, he's a must start in my opinion. So. We've already kind of went too crazy on him. I'm not going to go nuttier than that, but I really do feel that way about him. I think he's somebody you should hang on to at minimum because that Bucky situation is really unknown. Cyborg, what's up, buddy? It's good to see you, my friend. Glad to have you here. So let's see who's next on our He Went Off segment. It's our buddy Kenneth Gainwell. We talked about him a little bit earlier, didn't we? Steelers 34, Bengals 12. Gainwell 29 fantasy points in that game. 9 carries, 24 yards. Doesn't sound like a lot, but the 7 catches for 81 yards and 2 TDs definitely made it happen for him. I think that this is another situation we've already discussed quite a bit, but I really do feel like it's always going to be a 50-50 at best for him. So this is more of a flash in a pan performance, in my opinion. But if you had him in your starting lineup, you got some good points out of him this week, and you happy. So, and try to get some value for him if you can, because in my opinion, he is 100% right now the best time to trade him if you still have a chance to trade based on your trade deadlines. You got anything to add to the Gainwell scenario?
I just think he still has. I mean, I don't think it's really a flash in the pan. I still think he has standalone value as a flex. I mean, if you're have to start 2-3 flexes every week, I mean, he's a pretty good guy that you can put in your lineup, and we still have buys coming up. So if you need to fill a RB2 spot, I think Gainwell will be fine there. I think, yeah, I agree 100%. I think it's going to be a 50-50 split going forward, but
that's an at best though, man. I'm still leaning more towards like the 35-65 kind of range, and then Jaylen Warren's been known to get nicked up. So I'm not dropping him. He's obviously rosterable. And like I said, if if you need some standalone value in the flex position, I have no problem putting him in there. I mean, I had to put him in a couple leagues last week, and he rewarded me. No, I mean, I'm not hating on it. I just don't think that it's somebody that's going to continue to be a factor for much of the season. I'd be scared to want to play him. Like he's the kind of guy that's on my roster, and it's like I feel like I'm obligated to play him, but I don't really want to, and I really would rather play this other guy, but I just feel like I kind of have to play him because the numbers say to do it, and then he goes out and he does nothing, and I end up wishing I'd played the other guy. So that those types of scenarios just freak me out. What's up, Michael? We got another newbie in the chat here, Michael P3Q8Y, which I'm sure is something that I should know how to say better, but for now I'm just going to say Michael. Let's see what he has to say. He wants to trade A.J. Brown and Aaron Jones for Rice and Singletary. He's got Rashee side. Ooh. I think I say 100%. If you can get Rashee Rice on your team, you do that now.
Yeah, I would get off the computer right now and go right to your phone.
No, well, after the show. After the show, you get off the computer. You actually stay on the computer and then just use your phone to go ahead and do the trade.
Hurry up and hit accept before he takes it down.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a great deal. I would take that in a heartbeat too. I love that. Great. Thanks for the question, Michael. Keep them coming. He went off next is Bryce Young and Tet McMillan. Both of them had an amazing game. 34 points for Bryce Young, 33 for Tet. The Falcons lost 27-30 in an SDF SOT game, which is something you guys are going to hear more about here in the near future. Bryce was 31 of 45 for 448 yards and 3 TDs, and he threw 8 of those passes for 130 yards and 2 TDs to Tet McMillan. Scotty, what do you think of these two moving forward as a pair? Do you think that Bryce is actually somebody you would want to have like as a long-term asset? Do you think him and McMillan together are going to be that type of duo for the rest of their careers? Or do you think that Bryce is going to be somebody who never kind of reaches that next level and just kind of almost wastes talent as time goes on?
No, I think these, I mean, it's taken a little bit of time, but it looks like Bryce Young's starting to develop. I think Dave Canales is definitely a coach of the year candidate. He's got a WR1 receiver in Ted McMillan. So yeah, I think this is how you want a quarterback wide receiver to come to grow together. They're both young. They come into the league somewhat together and they grow. And I think Dave Canales has done a great job with that team. I mean, I don't think anyone thought the Panthers would be where they're at right now. So they unlocked Rico Dowdle. Their defense is, obviously in this game wasn't very good, but for the most part, he's done a great job with this team. So it was a tremendous performance, and it was definitely now that was a game that we were looking for, a high-scoring game with a lot of fantasy goodness.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a fun one to watch, and the fact that it went into OT, it gave me and Scott an idea. And moving forward, guys, we are going to get together when the game goes to OT, as long as the situation allows and neither of us are too far away from a computer or a phone. We're going to jump on and we're going to do a special OT short that's going to pop for you guys as soon as these OTs are over, because they're sudden death, baby, and we got to do something for sudden death, right? We're sudden death fantasy sports. We got to have a sudden death fantasy segment. So we're going to throw out some shorts for you guys that cover the OTs of all these games that go to OT. So keep an eye out for those as we move forward, because it's going to be a lot of fun, and me and Scott are super excited about doing that. Yeah. Who's next on, or he went off, brother?
It's like
Dak Prescott and George Pickens.
Yeah.
These two guys, man. I mean, we had to add them in here at the last minute because last night's game was just too good for us to not have them in here. 29 fantasy points for Dak, 29 fantasy points for George. No, that is not a typo. They did get the exact same amount of fantasy points, beating the Raiders 33-16. Dak went for 25 of 33 for 268 and 4 TDs. 9 of those went to George Pickens for 144 yards and 1 TD, which was a pretty epic TD in my opinion. So what do you think, man? Wheels up for both these guys, of course, but do you think George is the better one of the two between him and CD? Not the better receiver, but just the better fantasy player to have on your roster right now?
I don't know if it's better than CeeDee Lamb. I mean, you got to remember CeeDee Lamb's going to draw the cornerback one on every team. So
exactly why I'm asking if George is going to be the one to get the benefit of that or not. The
way
way T. Higgins came out and had a better second half of the year against defenses than Jamar did that first, I think, second season.
Yeah, he's definitely going to benefit, and it's going to show in the statistics going forward. But I still think CeeDee Lamb's going to get his. He's a diva. He's going to, he's going to make sure. I mean, yesterday was the perfect game plan. I mean, George Pickens ate pretty good. CeeDee Lamb got in the end zone, got some receptions. So I think it'll kind of go back and forth. You're going to get a CeeDee Lamb game, then you're going to get a George Pickens game. So I think they're both definitely viable. Dak Prescott is playing really outstanding this year, but we all got to remember, though, I mean, they beat up on a porous Raider defense. I mean, they were so bad. I mean, it was, and
I think the Raiders just look defeated, man. I think that their team in general is just ready to move on the next season.
They're just bad. So I mean, yeah,
I feel so bad for Max Crosby too. He's such a good player. He's in such a bad situation.
Bring Max Crosby home to Detroit. He belongs here.
Hey, we'll take him in Buffalo. I'm not gonna complain about that. We'll take him in Buffalo in a heartbeat. He fits our culture perfectly.
He's from Eastern Michigan. He belongs here in Detroit.
Yeah, okay, agree to disagree on that one. What's up, Card Kong One? How you doing, buddy?
So
says Pickens went off, won him a doubleheader. Way to go.
Card Kong is my buddy Brandon Ventimiglia. I'll give him a shout out. He kicked my butt yesterday in our home league. He beat me by 2 points because Pickens went off. And he had actually Javonte and Pickens, and I was holding him off till the last few catches and Pickens, and he beat me by 2 points. So I want to give a shout out to Brandon. Thanks for tuning in, buddy.
Hey, and thanks for bringing that to our attention on the show, because we always love to talk about Scott's losses on the show. So anytime that you can beat Scott in a fantasy league and you want to come on here and brag about it, we will make that comment front and center and have a good little discussion about that victory. So thanks for bringing that to our attention, Brandon. We love you for it. Scotty, next up, it's the Niners. Right on over to the rivals. Brock Purdy, CMC, and George Kittle all went crazy in this game. I mean, this game it was a terrible game for like a football fan, but it was a wonderful game for a fantasy fan. It was just like after another, just amazing things happening. On the other side too, Jacoby went nutty. So I mean, it was just one of those games, man. It was a great one for the fantasy world. Niners ended up winning. Oh, I forgot to put their score up there, so that is my fault. It doesn't matter though, because it's definitely higher than the Cardinals score.
41.
Excuse me, 41. So 49ers scored 41 points, guys, not 0. 41 points versus the Cardinals 22. So as you can tell, 2 TDs for 13 yards for 81 yards for McCaffrey with 2 TDs and 5 catches, 40 yards and 1 TD. 6 catches for 67 yards and 2 TDs went to Kittle with his tongue out. And then Brock Purdy throwing those passes for 200 yards total and 3 TDs. All 3 of them, if you played any one of those 3 guys on your team, you did great. If you had the Kittle and Purdy stack, that probably ended up winning you the week. So congratulations to you guys and to those 49ers. It was a really good game for them to come out and dominate the way they did, and Purdy to come back and be successful after all those weeks of being injured. What did you think of this game, Scott?
That was my fantasy game of the week. Everybody went off. All the good players that you all had in your lineup went off. And then going to the Cardinals side, you had Jacoby Brissett filling in for 450 yards. You had Michael Wilson, 18 targets, 15 receptions. I mean, that's a Terrell Owens stat line back in the day for San Francisco. So he went off. And then Trey McBride showing you that he's the best tight end in football right now, just doing Trey McBride things. So that, like I said, that was our fantasy game of the week going right there. So lots of production.
Yeah, I mean, that game right there was definitely a fun one to watch. And like I said, if you had any of those fantasy players in that game, you probably ended up winning your league because of it. It was definitely one of those types of games. So a tip of the cap, we got to go through real quick and just do a tip of the cap to the games that we didn't bring up so far. Jaguars won 35-6 against the Chargers. The Eagles, again, with a low score, but a win 16-10 over the Lions, which everybody thought that'd be a game of the week, and it turned out to be kind of a dud. It was just defensive game, really, is what it was. Dolphins 16 versus Commanders 13, which was another SDFSOT game, guys, that we would have talked about had that happened. Bears 19 and Vikings 17, Packers 27, Giants 20. Rams 21, Seahawks 19, Broncos 22, beat the Chiefs 19. That was a fun game for me to watch. Ravens 23, Browns 16. And then the Texans-Titans was a lot closer than everybody thought it was, but they ended up pulling it out 16-13. So, as we move on, guys, there really wasn't much other than what we discussed, so we won't really get into anybody in those games. That did definitely move around our power rankings, especially with what happened with the Eagles and things, and you'll find out about that tomorrow when we drop our power rankings for you guys. But right now, we're going to go ahead and move right on in to another segment that we like to call Trade Start Stash. So, guys, this is what we're going to do. You see we have 3 players listed at the top of the screen: Wan'Dale Robinson, Zay Flowers, Marvin Harrison Jr. One of them we have to trade, one of them we have to start, and one of them we have to stash. So, Scotty, you're going to start here. Give me their 3 in the order, starting with the trade and going down the row.
All right, so I'm going to trade Marvin Harrison. I'm going to start Zay Flowers, and I'm going to stash Wan'Dale Robinson. I just think Marvin Harrison's, I think you can trade him with name value, get somebody back. He hasn't really had a great year. He's trending up a little bit. But yeah, I think you can get maybe a running back or something back for him if you need running back help. And then, like I said, start Zay Flowers. That looks like the Ravens are starting to trend better. And then Wan'Dale Robinson, it seemed like when we can get Jackson Dart back in the lineup, he tend to favor Wan'Dale Robinson.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't have the same order than you. I have Zay Flowers as my trade. I have Wan'Dale as my start, and then I have Marvin as my stash. And, the reason I have Zay as my trade is I think that even though his value isn't great right now, I just don't think that he's somebody that long-term is going to ever be like a wide receiver type of one guy. So I don't expect him to to grow any farther than he is now. So even though it's lower value, I think it's the best it'll ever be. So right now, I just want to get him off my team. I think they'll do something next season at that position that puts him at least at second fiddle. So I don't want to have anything to do with him moving forward. Wandell I really like with Jackson Dart throwing the ball right now. So I'd be putting him in my lineup. I think Dart's coming back this week from his concussion. So I'd have no problem starting Wandell Robinson right now. And Marvin Harrison Jr., man, you invested too much in him. The man had a great game before his appendix blew up. So I think that you can just wait out another week, maybe at the most, and I think he'll be back. So you give it some time. As long as he heals properly and he can get back before the end of the season, I think he's worth having for the rest of the year, especially with Brissett throwing the ball, because he's doing a much better job of it than Murray was. So as far as I'm concerned, that's my order. Scott, man, your order is what it is, brother. I'm not going to argue with you on it. It's just not good.
Hey, I want to say hi to Frazil. Welcome in there, buddy. And hey, guys, we're answering questions for you guys. We enjoy you guys are here. Please give us a subscription and a like. That would really help us out tremendously.
Yeah, absolutely. We really appreciate you guys. If you haven't already subscribed, please go subscribe now, because that is the key for us to be able to do what we're going to do for you guys with our games moving forward and everything else. So please subscribe or pass the word on and have everybody else subscribe. And is it just me, or does it look like really eerie right now? Like my head's almost floating because it's getting dark. So it's pretty awesome looking, I think. But thanks a lot for being here, guys. We really appreciate you guys. And this is going to be one of those segments where we like to talk mess to each other. So be ready. Moving forward on our next one, we're going to go ahead over our next three receivers. We've got Troy Franklin, Trey Tucker, and Alec Pierce. Let's start with you, Scott. Who's your three?
God, I can't remember what I did on this one. I know I stashed Alec Pierce.
You traded Troy Franklin.
Okay, Troy Franklin. There we go.
You started Trey Tucker.
Yep.
And you stashed Alec Pierce.
Yep. Yeah, I think Troy Franklin, you can. He's been trending upward. I think you might be able to trade him if you needed a RB2 or something like that. I like starting Trey Tucker. I mean, he's the number one now. He had a pretty good game yesterday. He got in the box. And then Alex Pierce, I talked about him earlier. He's one of the top leaders in air yards in the NFL. So I'd look for big games from him going forward, especially on those deep passes from Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who Alex Pierce is, but I know Alec Pierce is definitely a good guy to have on your fantasy team.
Did I say Alex?
Yeah, it's okay.
Alex,
I just
Alex,
like to tease you. Hey, maybe Alex Pierce is a superstar receiver too. We just don't know about yet, right? We'll see what happens in the draft. Maybe he'll come out next year. We don't know. My order, I've got Trey Tucker as my trade. I think that Trey Tucker's got good trade value right now, which will never be better than it is. Troy Franklin as my start, because he is the wide receiver one in that offense right now. And Alec Pierce sticks in the stash, just like Scott said. You got to hang on to a guy like that, because he's on his way up in an offense. And I don't know if Pittman's going to stay on that team next year, or what's going to happen with them moving forward in their receiving core. So Josh Downs also doesn't look like he's dominating anything more than Pierce would. So I definitely think Pierce is a guy that I would like to have and see how things play out with. So we both agree on that one. We flip-flopped on our Troy Franklin and Trey Tucker on this one. Dude, what is it about Troy Franklin over Trey Tucker that would make you want to trade him away and start Trey Tucker? I mean, are you just talking about specifically this season right now with your trade away? Because to me, I think Troy Franklin is definitely the guy to start out of these three.
Well, Trey Tucker's the number one there. So, I mean, Franklin, you still got Sutton. And
number one on offense that can't score touchdowns. I mean, he got his TD this week, but there wasn't much else happening.
Yeah, but they're going to throw the ball. I mean, they're going to throw. I mean, you saw yesterday they threw the ball 1,000,000 times. You draft Genty and you don't even run them, so they're throwing the ball 1,000,000 times. So, in Denver, you got, like I said, you have Sutton, and then that Bryant kid. That Bryant kid's he's coming along. So, I think you're going to get a lot of splash plays out of Franklin going forward. I don't think you can trust him in your lineup every week. At least Trey Tucker is going to get targets every week, and he's the number one there. Whether they're going to score or not, I mean, it's all about targets, and I think he's going to get more targets going forward than Troy Franklin.
I mean, I'm not going to argue with you, man. I just I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I think I'm probably more inclined to do what I said, but hey, whatever. It's okay, because that's why we have our own opinions. That's what makes things great about America. We're allowed to have that. Frizzle has a question for us, man. He's got his wide receivers are CD, Drake, Watson, Booty. His running backs are Brees, Woody, Tajay, Monangai, Tucker. Is it time to trade away CD to upgrade his roster? He's asking. Just for my looks at it right now, I would say no. I don't think there's any reason for you to do that. I feel like you've got a good enough roster right now to hang on to. Like, if anything, I wouldn't want to trade CD away. I would try to trade away like a Sean Tucker or a Monangai, or maybe package the two of them together to try to upgrade to a solid RB3 or RB2-3 kind of guy that you can add to that RB core. I wouldn't want to move away from CD. I think CD is a cornerstone for that team right now. You got anything different on that?
No, I kudos to what you said. I think Sean Tucker is a great, running back to trade away, especially maybe if you could find that, the RB owner for, why am I drawing a blank on this? The Tampa Bay RB.
Bucky Irving.
Yeah, find that Bucky Irving owner. You can trade away Sean Tucker. I don't like fungi, so it's time to move away from Kyle Monangai. So let's package them together and move them on.
Don't call the man fungi, bro. He's a young kid who's out there trying to make a name for himself, and you called him fungi. Oh, man, gotta love it. The gems that Scott comes up with, man. That's why we love doing these things. Thanks for that question, though, Frizzle. We really appreciate you. We got Logan Lucas 4614, a new friend in the chat here, asking us another question. He wants to know if he should start Caleb Williams or Baker this week. I'm leaning to Baker because I think Baker's going to bake after what happened this week. What do you think, man? Caleb's got a decent matchup. Where are you at on that one?
How do you not go with shake and bake? Everybody loves shake and bake. So I'm starting shake and bake.
So, yeah, Frizzle's asking up a follow-up, too, here real quick on that. He wants to know who's an RB he should target. You just mentioned one of them, right? He's actually asking who he should target. I'm sorry, not who he should target as far as to trade it to. He wants to know what RB he can grab for that.
Okay. Let's see here. Let's see. Maybe would it be too much to ask for Javonte?
I don't think it would be horrible to ask for Javonte. I think you just got to hope that he has the right roster needs in order to do that, like depth needs. It's not so much about the guy you're going to target, in my opinion. It's trying to find the right team to target so that you can make sure that this man needs that type of depth, right? So you're going to have to look at the team that needs this 2 extra players and then see what their roster looks like on who you're going to get. So it might end up having to be a receiver. You don't know yet. It just depends on how things go when it comes to, what the team looks like that is actually in need of that depth. So you just got to kind of work it that way, right? Try to find that right team that's in need of the depth.
Yeah.
Turn on my light here so you guys can see me so I don't flicker in and out like a ghost. But yeah, that's definitely how I would do it, man. I would target maybe the right team and then figure out what's on that roster and go from there.
I mean, you might be able to get maybe even like a Ken Walker. Ken Walker's been
Ken Walker would be a good one there. Even Charbonnet, I wouldn't mind taking for those two at that point, because either one of those two with any kind of an injury to the other become an RB1 instantly. And I mean, Charbonnet's getting a lot of those red zone carries. Walker's there in between the 20s guy with the explosive nature. So either one of those two, I think, would be an okay get. I'd probably start with Walker and then settle for Charbonnet if I went that route.
Oh, look who popped in here. It's our good old buddy. Sorry for cussing. What's up, Chris?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Welcome on in.
Awesome, man. All right. So who's next on our list here, man? We're getting I love these questions you guys are throwing at us too. Even if we go a little long with our episode, we're okay with that because you guys are giving us good questions to vibe on, and we love that. So we will continue to move forward with those if you guys keep them coming. Yeah. Next up, we got Bill Merritt, RJ Harvey, and Woody Marks. Do you remember your 3? Do you want me to list them off for you?
Well, I know I was definitely trading away Bill Merritt.
Yep.
And this was tough for me. I went back and forth, but
we did. This was one that we both literally flip-flopped on these two right here.
Yeah, you know what? I really like Woody Marks a lot. I think he's got a lot of juice. I like him a lot. And I'm gonna start him and I'm gonna stash Harvey.
That's right. That's exactly what you said. And then, as I just talked about, I put Woody Marks as my trade. I didn't actually even put him anywhere else. I put him as my trade, and because I think his value is going to be good this year. But my thought is that next year things are going to do differently. So when you're talking about, trade, if you're looking at a dynasty situation, which I'm assuming are trades, we got to look at it kind of that way, being at this point in the year, then I'm going to say Woody Marks is my trade candidate. I think his value goes down after any kind of move they make next year, whether it's mixing back or whatnot. The next one up for me with the start was RJ Harvey, man. RJ Harvey to me is the RB1 now moving forward. I think he's going to continue to be that guy. I'm really concerned that this might be the end of JK. If not his entire career as far as retirement, just his being JK Dobbins we've known him to be. I think he kind of falls into that second fiddle role now moving forward when he comes back from this injury. And I don't think there's any concern as far as RJ Harvey being the guy in that offense now. And so my stash is definitely going to be Bill Merritt at this point. I think he's a guy that we just don't know what's going to happen with him. And, they keep on like splitting carries, and I'm just not 100% feeling like I have value with the trade, and I'm not 100% starting him. So I'm just sticking him on the bench and hoping that things change as move forward.
Yeah, I think they're definitely going to change. And it's what Chris said in the chat. I think Chris Rodriguez is going to take that job and go forward with it.
Yeah, he's right. I think Chris Rodriguez is definitely looking like the better back right now, even though, Bill kind of started out as the heavy favorite. It seems to be switching things up a little bit there now. So it's definitely going to be a backfield I don't want to have any piece of right now. So no matter what, any of them are going to stay on my bench until somebody proves more than they have already. So we got another question from Frizzle. Let's see what he's asking here about Ramondre. He's asking if he's coming back this week. And, honestly, I hope not, because I don't want to have any concerns with what's going on with Henderson. I like Henderson and I want to see him continue to be a stud. But if Ramondre comes back, I'd be scared. I'd be worried, because I do think that for some reason, I don't know if he's got some sort of blackmail that he can hold over Mike Vrabel's head or what, but Mike Vrabel does not want to bench the player for the better back. He just wants to continue to give the old man his love. So, hey, if that's going to continue to happen, man, I think TreVeyon Henderson's going to take a hit and he's going to drop back down again. And I hate to say it, but it will happen if he plays him. So I'd rather just Ramondre stay not healthy so we don't have to worry about that situation. But again, we just don't know. It's unfortunate, but we don't. So keep an eye on that, though. If he comes back, be worried about your TreVeyon Henderson shares. So next up on our list, JJ McCarthy, Jacoby Brissett, and Bryce Young. So we wanted to make sure we threw some quarterbacks in here. We wanted to get some guys that are going to be in that kind of like, what do you do level? So Scotty, where are you at with these three? Do you want me to list them off for you, or do you remember where you went?
I think I forgot again.
Hey, that's okay, my friend, because we did a lot of work today, so I can understand why.
That is like...
Bryce Young was your trade candidate.
Okay. Yep, that sounds about right. Jacoby
Brissett was your start, right?
Yep.
And that's obvious. And JJ had to be your stash, right?
Yeah. I think if you obviously...
And we were the same on this one too, so we'll go ahead and just release all of it. Yeah, we did not have anything different. This was all of us felt exactly the same way about it. It's those three guys in that order.
Yeah. No, and the reason why I'm trading Bryce Young away is his value will never get as high as it is right now. I mean, he had a career day. So if you can get anything for him, and your deep at quarterback, definitely move on from him. Jacoby's been playing great. I don't see Kyler coming back at all this year. And then JJ's been so erratic, but he is talented. So I'm definitely going to stick him on the back burner for now.
Yeah, no, I mean, and I agree 100% with everything you said. Jacoby Brissett doesn't have the trade value. He's definitely the best thing you can do right now is have him in your lineup if you have a need for quarterback. I mean, and if you don't have a need for a quarterback right now, I mean, I would sell him for peanuts just to get something that you could actually use as a piece in your offense, just because you don't need him. Otherwise, he's wasting on your bench right now. So you gotta try to either move him or start him. You can't stash him at all. And JJ, I think you have to stash. I don't think there's any other choice with JJ. You can't drop him. There's not much else you can do right now, and just wait and see how it plays out, which obviously puts Bryce as the number one trade candidate there because everything you just said. So I can't argue with anything there. It's all 100% on the same level. So that was a lot of fun though, man. I do like doing that. We're gonna definitely have more of those coming up, guys. We're doing little shorts of those. We're gonna have them around. They're a lot of fun, especially when we get into a little argument ourselves. We're probably just gonna end up throwing one of those together when we get into our fun little discussions that we tend to get into quite often. So just keep an eye out, guys. We're going to be doing that a lot more.
And we want to thank you guys too for anyone that has been watching our shorts. We worked real hard on them. We actually had a couple of them that pumped out pretty good. We had one, I think we hit 1,500 viewers, and one hit 1,700 viewers. So views. So I mean, Sean does a great job with the animation and everything. So yeah, we're gonna keep pumping those shorts out for you guys. Something real quick you can check out when we launch them, and we have a fun time. We have a good time with them.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun. I mean, in those shorts, I don't know. I haven't done this before. This is like my first venture sticking into the editing realm, and it's so much fun, man. I'm having a blast doing it. It's been a really good time making those shorts. You're going to see a lot more of them as we go along because they are just that much fun for me to do, and I have no problem throwing them together as much as I can. So I look forward to doing them. I hope you guys are as excited about it as we are because it is so much fun for us. The next segment that we're going to roll into is, we're going to go into this segment that we're doing. We're calling it the Wheel of Difficult Decisions. And, the Wheel of Difficult Decisions, guys, what it is we have 10 players on our list here, and they're all flex worthy. And we're going to draw names. We're going to spin our wheel, whatever name it lands on. We're going to decide out of these 10 players, do they make our list of 4 starting in our flex spots? So 4 flex spots we're filling out of 10 players. We need to know whether they're going to make the list or not. And we don't have a choice. Once it lands on them, we have to make that decision. However many spots we have left is going to factor in. Everything is going to factor in. So I'm really excited to see where we fall, how many of these we actually agree on, how many of these we disagree on, and what's going to end up happening, because one way or the other, we got to come up with an answer. So as we do this, I'm going to go ahead and enter them in on the back end so that they're ready to go for our next little spot, and you guys can see how it all plays out. So let's go ahead and get started here, Scotty. Let's do our first spin and see what happens, huh?
All right, let's do it. We love games here.
We do. Yeah, this is what we really enjoy, guys. This is probably the best time that we have right now doing stuff like this. This is really a blast for us. All right, let's go. Who's it gonna be? Oh, it starts with a toughie right out the gate. Jordan Addison, everybody. Jordan Addison. So, Scott, what are we going to do with Jordan Addison? Does he go on to our starting list of 4 flex starters, or is he going to be a guy that we decide to go ahead and bench right now because we have so many options left to choose from? Where are you at on him, man? I mean, this is a tough one.
Yeah, it's a tough one for sure. But, it seems like JJ's had kind of a down year. And it looks like when JJ McCarthy, so we're talking about Jetta having a down year. Now, JJ McCarthy, when he's been in there, it seems like he's been targeting Addison a little bit more. He had a couple end zone shots last week. Right now, in the last 5 games, he sits at like a WR34, so he's like a flex guy. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say, you know what? I think I'll stick him in my flex.
So you're going to play him, huh? You want to play him out of the 10. See, I'm in the other side of the realm here. I think we have enough other guys available that I like better, that him being the first one that we got, had he been like a later one and we, had some other decisions already made, then maybe I have a difference of opinion. But right now, I'd rather have him off our list. So we need to figure this out, man, because we got to come up with an answer here. So I mean, are you for sure that you want to keep him 100? Is he for sure 100 in your top 4? Is he in your top 2 out of our list?
No, he's not in my top 2.
Is he in your top 3?
I think he's borderline 4. So if you want to throw him back, we'll throw him back.
So he's a borderline 4. So let's throw him back then, because I want to keep him on the bench. I think we can do better.
Okay. All right.
All right. So that's our first disagreement, ladies and gentlemen. And that one actually went over pretty easily. I don't think the rest of them will, but we'll see. So let's spin and see who our next guy is on the list. Let's give us somebody easy to work with here, or not, or another one that's extremely difficult to work with. AJ Brown. Scotty, where do you put AJ Brown, man? I mean, this is another guy I wanted us to wait on. I did not want to have to think about yet, but I mean, I think for me, I think I gotta play him, man. I think I gotta play him. I know they've been terrible lately. I know the offense isn't scoring. He's getting little targets. He's talking about drop me, but man, I just don't know if I can. Like, where? What do you think, man? You tell me, where are you at on him?
He's still a wide receiver too.
So you got to start him, right? We got to get him in here on our flex spot.
Yeah, he's still a wide receiver too.
All right. I'm with. All right. Thank you for not arguing with me on that one, because you could have probably swayed me, and I don't know if I would have been happy about it in the end or not. So I'm glad that you let me go ahead and stick with that one. All right. So who's up next? All right, we're gonna start. Let's see who we got on our next pick here. This is not easy, man. This is more difficult than I thought it was gonna be. Oh man, look at that! Right in the middle of the two guys we just talked about, Ken Walker. Oh, and it stays on Walker. I thought it was going to roll into Charbonnet, but it stayed on Walker. Whoa, where do you stand on Walker, man? You start with him. I want to see your thoughts first.
Oh man,
I know, right?
Forgotten we put these guys on here.
What are we doing to ourselves, right? We should have made this easier for us.
Yeah, well, maybe the people in the crowd can help us in the chat room. Maybe they.
Yeah, if you guys got any answers to these, then please tell us. Would you start them? We have 3 more flex spots left out of the guys that are left, and we've already drawn 3 names, so there's 7 more players left after this, and 3 more flex spots left if we do not pick this guy.
I'm gonna say no.
No, you're gonna say drop him?
Because in I'm like I said, I'm a trends guy. The last 5 games, he sits at RB 29, and Zach Charbonnet's RB 25.
Ooh, I mean, Tennessee Nick is saying he'd start him, and then Chris comes right in after that with a no. Exactly. I mean, you guys are not helping. They're contradicting each other like that. Come on, guys. We need a little assistance here on this one. Jeez. Oh man. Okay. Well, they said they back and forth it. Geez, Louise. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. I'll let you, because since you gave me the other guy in the beginning and let me go ahead and sit Addison, I'm gonna go ahead and let you sit Walker too, and then we'll sit him as well and put him on the bench, because you allowed me to have my guy on the bench, so I'm gonna give you your guy on the bench and we can move on. I know he's not your favorite player, so let's go ahead and bench him and start with their next option and see what happens here. We're getting thin though, man. We're getting real thin. So let's see who the next one is and hope it's somebody that we can be happy we start. Oh man, it's even worse. Alvin Kamara, underperformed Kamara right now. I don't know what to do with this guy in a starting lineup. I think it's nearly impossible to keep him in a lineup right now. I feel like we have to sit him. Even though we need to starting some guys, I feel like we got to sit him.
No, I
Where
can't.
Are you at?
Kamara. In the last 5 games, he's RB 47.
Oh gosh, that's so nasty.
You can't. I mean, you could put that's awful, and it's unfortunate because I actually like Alvin Kamara as a player, but you just can't do it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm with you. I agree 100%. I so wish he would have got traded at the deadline. He is like the one guy that I really wanted to get moved, even if it went to the Chiefs. I would have been just happy for him to be on a team that has a chance to go to the Super Bowl. So I felt so bad for him. He was the one guy that I really wanted to see get moved.
When we see some questions out there, we'll get to them when we're done with this segment, guys.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. We're just about to roll through these. We'll hit those questions here at the end and rapid fire status. So next up here, we're going to spin the wheel again. Who's our next guy? Give me somebody good. Come on. We got a couple of them out there that I really like. So let's hit one of them.
There we go.
It's another one. What do you think with David?
I'm gonna put him in the lineup.
You were going to start David?
Yeah, he's definitely a flex option.
Okay. All right. So that gives us 2 flexes. I'm not going to argue that one. I agree with you. I think even though he's had a couple of down weeks, I do think he's on an offense that he gets enough carries in that offense that it's worth it.
I mean, he's bad. I mean, he's right there with he's a little bit better than Kamara, but with the offense and the way Dan Campbell has to give the ball to David Montgomery, give him his, if he was on a different team, it would be definitely a no.
Yeah. No, I agree with that 100%. 100%. All right. Who's next up on the list? Come on, give us somebody worthy here, guys. We got a few of them out there now. Let's land on one of them. Ooh, it's the other half of the RB duo. I feel like we can't start Zach if we didn't start Ken. I mean, do you have a different opinion?
He's like a David Montgomery. See, the thing with Zach Charbonnet, it seems like he's always getting the goal line carries.
Yeah. And there's definitely two guys I like better that are on the board
Well,
still.
we're
so
definitely gonna like Chris said. Why is Chris Olave on this? We probably shouldn't have put Chris Olave on this, but Chris Olave is definitely going to be a start. So
yeah, he's a guy that I wanted to save a room for sure too.
Yeah.
You're probably right. We probably should have kept him off because he is more of a must start type of guy. But he's been struggling on an offense that is really just not showing us a lot. So I didn't really think that it was super for sure start, but you're right, Chris. We probably should have left him off the list.
All right.
So Charbonnet was a no-go, right? We're gonna definitely say that. Yeah. So next up, we're gonna end up with our boy Chris Olave, which we just talked about is a definite start. So he's going right into the start spot, in my opinion. You with me on that one?
Yes, sir.
All right. See, Chris, we did it. He's in the starting lineup, so you don't have to worry no more, buddy. He's there. So next up, we've got one spot left, 3 players left. I think I know who I want out of the 3, but let's find out if he gets this opportunity. And is it going to stay on the man I want or not? There it is, Christian Watson. I think he is our 4th player. What do you think?
You know what? It was either him or Worthy. And Worthy's so boomer bust. I'm thinking as the weeks go on, Christian Watson should stabilize into a little bit better of a floor. So yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to say Christian Watson.
Yeah, I think that Christian Watson definitely should be the guy that's in here at this point. He's the guy that I think is the one that we were kind of targeting. At least I was kind of targeting when we got down to after Olave got picked off. So I think that's where we should stop it for now. We do know that Xavier Worthy and DJ Moore were going to end up on our bench anyway, based on what ended up happening. So I think that this was the right way to play it out. I really don't see any reason to do it differently than what we just did there. To me, it seems like this was the right move. Do you have any other thoughts on that, Scotty, as far as that's concerned, or do you think that was the right play?
No, that was the right play. So that was our wheel of difficult decisions, which definitely was difficult.
Yeah, this one was a tough one, man. I mean, if you look at the guys that we had to sit to be able to get the guys in that we started, is there anybody on that list before we move off of this and finish up with our questions? Is there anybody on that list that you would maybe switch over to the other side? Anybody that you'd swap between? Just give me the 2 that you'd swap. Any of them at all, or none?
I mean, I kind of put Jordan Addison and Christian Watson in the same bucket.
So you'd probably would have played Addison over Watson. You'd probably swap those 2 if you had a choice.
Those 2. Just because
I'm with you on that. I'd probably swap Monty and Walker. That would be mine.
Okay.
So yeah, otherwise I think we're close, man. We got at least 3 of the 4 in that for sure should be there.
Right. So, but yeah, that's the wheel of difficult decision.
Chris is saying Addison for Watson too. He's with you on that one.
Yeah.
So,
all right, we're running low on time, but we're going to rapid fire through some of these questions. So if you want to, I think we can scroll up a little bit. There was definitely a few questions, I think.
Oh yeah, we got some questions in here. I'm going to go up here so I can get us to the right ones. So we're looking at, we said, what defense should he play? We've already talked about the defense. So let's go to the next question that's down the list here. And he's saying here, we need a defense, but doesn't want to drop the Broncos. This is from Steven, by the way, Steven Grice. He says, also need a defense and don't want to drop Broncos. Would you drop Fannin or Pitts to make that happen? Would you? So I think I'd probably go ahead and drop Fannin out of that group and go ahead and just move forward with you getting the defense that you need at that point. Either Fannin or Pitts. I wouldn't consider the quarterbacks.
Yeah, I dropped Fannin.
Yeah. I think you already mentioned that too, actually. So it definitely does seem like that was something that you would do. So let's see here. We got another question here. Which 2 do I play? Oh, we did that one already.
Yeah.
So I'm just scrolling through here, guys, trying to catch up on where we are with our trades.
Riley KF2JY says, do I trade Drake London for T. Higgins?
Drake London for T. Higgins. I don't know, man. I think What do you think? You go ahead and answer first.
I think I'm gonna trade T. I'm gonna acquire T Higgins.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right when I think about it because of the fact that Higgins isn't hurt right now and Burrow coming back and that offense is going to be throwing the ball quite a bit because their defense is so bad. I'm with you on that one. I think that's a way to go there. So we got another question here from Logan. He's asking if he should trade Pickens with Breece Hall and Debo or Warren and Debo. So I'm thinking probably Warren and Debo. I probably wouldn't want to do that. What do you think?
Well, I want to get Pickens. So what is I don't understand.
But I'm saying I would keep Breece Hall and do Warren and Debo for Pickens. That he's asking if he's trying to get Pickens and he's asking would you do Breece Hall and Debo or Warren and Debo?
Oh, I got you now. Yeah, I don't think I don't know if Warren and Debo will get it done. If Warren and Debo gets it done, I would do it. If not, I wouldn't mind moving on from Breece Hall and Debo to get Pickens.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind moving on from either one of them. I would prefer to give up Warren and Debo if I had the option.
So try that one. If you can't do that one, then go ahead and I could sign off on Breece Hall and Debo for Pickens.
Yeah, I think that's a great move too. Thank you, Logan, for that one, my friend. Appreciate you. Katamari 47. This is a new person, I think, too. Thank you for the question. They're picking up Michael Wilson, Tucker, or Emmanuel Wilson. Who do you prioritize? I think I probably prioritize Tucker because of what you talked about with the for sure role in that offense. I would probably put Wilson behind them and then Michael Wilson, behind that. And then Emmanuel Wilson would be a far third. So target Tucker or Michael Wilson first and foremost.
Yep. Kudos to that.
So yeah, I don't see. Oh, here's another one here from Frizzle. His quarterback is Drake May. She's looking. Should he trade him away and pick up Darnold off waivers? Someone just dropped him. I think I would pick up Darnold anyway, just to have him and make sure that you can get him onto your bench in case, because you want to have that backup quarterback. I don't know if you already have somebody else or not, but with Drake May, I don't think I would probably move off of him. I think that he's got the potential to stay in that top tier quarterback range. Not top tier, but like top QB, like a QB1 range, top 12 quarterback range. So I would probably not move off of Drake May unless you were getting enough of a valuable piece for him. Scotty, do you agree, or would you try to make that move and then roll with Darnold for the rest of the year?
No, I'm not going to move on from Drake May. Especially where you drafted him. You probably drafted him. I mean, I don't know if this is one quarterback or two quarterbacks, but I'm assuming it's one. But yeah, I agree. Just go ahead and pick up Darnold, and drop some slug off the bottom of your bench, and then you'll have Drake May and Sam Darnold going forward. But in case of injury, but you're basically starting Drake May the rest of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's our last question that I'm seeing here, guys. We really appreciate you guys' feedback today. The interaction from the audience was amazing. You guys were great. And we really hope that you like and subscribe if you haven't already, especially subscribe. I mean, that's so helpful for us when we do that. So tell all your friends, get as many subscribers as we can. Things are going to move forward fast and furious for us when the off season kicks in. So I definitely want to try to get as many eyeballs as we can before then. Thank you guys so much for everything. Derek7795, go ahead, throw us a question real quick before we go, my friend. Feel free. It's good to have you here as well. He's asked Logan throwing in a quick question too. He said he should have traded Pickens for Breece Hall and Debo. Oh, he did that one already. Okay, that just kind of popped up a second time. So if you got a question real quick, Derek, throw it in the comments. We will jump over to it. Again, thank you guys so much for everything. We'll be back next Tuesday. One of the things we are going to do, which is something we've been requested by some of you guys, is to push back the show a little bit because you guys are getting off work and things are a little hectic. It's 6 o'clock on the East Coast for you. And some people need a little more time to get prepared. So we're going to go ahead and start the show. Instead of 3 West Coast time, 6 East Coast time, we're going to go ahead and move it back 1 hour. So it'll be 7 and 4 moving forward. So next week, be prepared, guys. We're going to be 1 hour later, starting at 4 p.m. on the West Coast, 7 p.m. on the East Coast. And Derek did give us his question here. So let's see what he has to say. He said PPR, he's got 3 keepers per year. Would you trade away Kyron Williams, Pittman, and Tyler Warren, who is his 9th round keeper? He also has Trey McBride. For Bucky Irvin, who is a 16th round keeper, Waddle, and Gadsden. I probably I don't know, man. I think Bucky as a 16th round keeper
That's good.
might do it for me.
Yeah, that's good.
I think that might do it for me, man. I think, Waddle and Gadsden are going to give you enough points, not quite as many to counter who you're giving up, of course, but they'll give you enough points to where you can survive, especially since you have McBride still as well. So I would probably do that because Bucky as a 16th round keeper is extremely good value, man. I like that a lot. So I would go that route. I really think that's the way to do it. What's he say? He said he likes the Bucky's and Waddle playoff schedule and Bucky's 16th round tag. Yeah, I see everything we just talked about. I would say you go ahead and go for it and feel happy about it. Go give yourself a nice pat on the back afterwards because that's a good move for you, in my opinion. Thanks for the question too, Derek. Right there to finish out the show is a great one. You guys are awesome. Once again, thank you all so much. And we will see you guys next Tuesday, once again, 1 hour later at 4 o'clock West Coast, 7 o'clock Eastern time from Sudden Death Fantasy Sports, where champions cheat death one round at a time. We thank you so much and have a wonderful evening.